What's up, everybody? Joe Gray here today with another AMA warm up. Today I'm joined by my dude Darko. What's up, man?
Oh, hey man, just hanging out. How you doing?
Good. Weather's a little crazy. We've had
Yeah.
rain and then no rain and then rain and then no rain and then rain, and I think we got more rain today. So,
Oh yeah. No, I was
yeah.
telling my wife, I've seen all these warnings about it raining, and I've seen the ground be wet. I've actually not seen any rain while it's happening. I know it's happening. I just haven't seen any.
Yeah, we had uh, in November it was very wet. Then December was supposed to be dry, but it wasn't. And then January, I think we got no rain, and then until the very end here. And then now February is kind of a one of these kind of things. So,
Yeah.
you throw on a jacket and you take it off if you need to or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's all good. So. But yeah, no, so happy to have you here today. Talk about some home gym equipment and good stuff. Normally we hop right in. So your first question is, who are you? Why are you here?
My name's Darko. I'm the owner of Darko Lifting. Uh, Big part of the reason why that company exists is because I started out as a home gym owner, and I still think of myself first and foremost as a home gym owner. And just from having one and seeing things that I wanted that didn't exist out there yet, I decided to basically figure out a way to get them made. And luckily, a lot of other people uh, enjoyed those products as well. So,
Nice.
but yeah, that's pretty much it in a little.
Is this your full-time gig, or do you have a job on top of a job?
So when I first started, I had two little side jobs. One of which was doing some social media stuff for my wife's company
Yeah.
and managing some apartment buildings down in Laguna Beach. And I was kind of doing this also as it just got started. Over the last year and a half, I left doing the work for my wife's company. I still manage the apartment buildings. That's just because they're family owned. But for the most part, this is what I do at this point now, about 60 hours a week. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, it's a full-time job.
Yep, I understand that one. My answer when people ask me that one is I go, I'm a stay-at-home dad with a very time-intensive
Yeah.
side job. So,
That is a good way to put
yeah,
it.
yeah. The dad piece is eats up a whole crap load of time on its
Oh
own
yeah.
as well. So, but yeah, no complaints on my end.
Yeah.
So. All right, man. So you said home gym lifter. So tell me about that. So how was lifting a part of your life maybe before this? Like did you go to a commercial gym before and those kinds of things? How do you lift now? What are your goals? That kind of stuff.
So yeah, on and off lifting for 25 years now. I mean, I just turned 40 back in July. So yeah, probably about 25 years or so. Always worked in a commercial gym, um, up until COVID, essentially. I mean, about 6 months before COVID, I actually started buying stuff for a home gym because I knew I would eventually want one. So I had, the cap plates and,
Sure.
a 5 foot Titan Fitness barbell, which I still have just because at this point I'm like, that's my first barbell. I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep it forever.
I get it.
And so, I always worked out in the commercial gym. And then COVID happened. So then I started developing my home gym. And that's when I really started taking my lifting a lot more seriously. Mostly powerlifting, style lifting. So that's kind of, where I really started to dig in and like try and improve my lifts. I think in my entire career at a commercial gym, my max bench was maybe like 235.
Sure.
And with the home gym, I got that up to, I mean, I've done one rep at 315, but I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna run with it, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep
it
repeating
counts.
that forever.
Yeah.
And so, so that was going great. Unfortunately, the worst thing for my lifting career so far has been starting a company making weightlifting gear. Um,
Yep.
Especially one that occupies so much time where, I like being a morning lifter. I like getting up at like 4:35 in the morning,
Okay.
working out. But lately, I mean, especially for the last couple months, it's been so busy that I work until 12 o'clock at night. So getting up at
Uh,
5 is a little bit tougher.
yep.
So my lifting sessions are definitely a little bit more sporadic than they used to be. But I'm hopefully hopefully going to change that soon. I'm trying to dial in some processes a little bit, make things a little bit quicker
There you go.
and get back to a more kind of standard routine of, 5, 6 days a week.
Nice. Yeah, I've had that same similar but different thing with like product reviews. You get
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff in and you're like, "Well, my program doesn't call for 15 sets of Nordic curls, but I kind of got to do that to be able to test this bench out. So, let's just see how that works."
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you're do you have plans to maybe hire an assistant, something like that, or you just think your goal is to simply just streamline and continue to improve bits by bits, and that'll make it better?
A little bit of both. I'm kind of in that point in the business where financially and just order load, it would make a lot of sense to bring someone on.
Yep,
Unfortunately, I'm still doing everything out of my garage.
yep,
I'm not super comfortable, especially, my wife works from home. I have 2 kids. I'm not incredibly comfortable with someone that I don't really know very well
sure,
coming over to my house and working out of it. So I'm kind of waiting until I get to the point where, and unfortunately, this is like the not fun part is I need to get busy enough to where it requires me to work 16 hours a day
yep,
to afford to then go get a small warehouse, get a part-time employee. So there's going to be some pain there for a
yep,
bit. But in a perfect world, yeah, I would definitely love to bring an employee on, have a small warehouse. But again, and another part of that is I live in California.
yep,
Everything's expensive in California.
yep,
So, the cost of hiring somebody, especially when you got to compete with even fast food places that are paying people,
yep,
20 plus dollars an hour.
yep.
And warehouse space. I mean, I live in Orange County. Nothing in Orange County is cheap. Nothing.
Yep, yep,
So, and I'd be looking at least, 1,000, 2,000 square feet of warehouse space. So it's you kind of got to make a big leap.
yeah,
It's not just like a small little jump. It's a pretty big leap as far as the amount of revenue I need to generate to make it worth it.
yep. Yeah, I've had similar thought processes for my side of, like running the garage gym
Mhm.
competition. There's a whole lot of administrative tasks behind the scene, and everything from sending emails to sponsors, invoices, and contracts and stuff, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. And I've thought of like, okay, well, could I hire like almost like an admin assistant to tackle some of those things? If they did that, then I could do more videos and reviews and stuff and the whole deal. But same thought process, I'm like, okay, well, if someone was going to do that full time, I'd have to pay them 40 to $50,000 a year to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's worth it right now. So fingers crossed my daughter gets real good at computer
Yeah.
stuff soon and I'll just let her do it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where anytime I talk about, the business with people, it's like, oh, well, just hire someone. It's like, yeah, okay, well, that's easier said than done.
yeah,
Especially in California, labor laws and everything are
yeah,
just kind of extreme compared to some other parts of the country.
yeah,
So yeah, it's like I gotta make a lot of extra
yeah,
revenue coming
yeah,
in to have that
yeah.
totally makes sense. But
Yep.
uh,
Everything put in place. Because I did 10 plus years of corporate human resources. And so the stuff that's put in place to hold large corporations accountable here, which does a decent job, is definitely difficult at the smaller
yeah,
individual level. I've had conversations with people over the years who like they hired somebody and they're like, "Oh yeah, it was easy." And I go, "Did you do your preventing sexual harassment training?" And they're like, "What?" I go, "Well, you've got an employee. You're technically a manager. You have to take this class and all these different things."
yeah,
And they're like, "Well, what happens if I don't do that?" I go, "I don't know. If you get in trouble, that's a
yeah,
lawsuit and you're out of business and
yeah,
all this fun stuff." So yeah, it gets wild trying to be that one person versus two is a
yeah.
very big jump. So I get your thought processes there. So. All right, man. How about your experience in the home gym community? So, and we're talking like you as a individual, what kind of where do you spend your time? How do you hang out, with other people before we hit record? You're talking about Home Gym Con a little bit, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I kind of divide my time. I like to have my eyes on kind of every, community at least a little bit. Probably the majority of my time is spent on the home gym Discord. I've kind of been a member there for a couple of years now. Uh, that's kind of just people hanging out, kind of
Yep,
talking about whatever. But I also, I mean, I check Reddit every day. I love seeing, I mean, one, I just love seeing people's gym setups. Like,
yep,
it's like this weird obsession
yep.
where, like, and then it's like recognizing every single piece of equipment, and like, why do they set things up this way? So yeah, I'm on Reddit all the time. I do participate in the Facebook group as well. That's kind of, one of the places where I show a lot of my, even though I'm a manufacturer, I do a lot of DIY kind of stuff too, my gym. So I share a lot of that stuff in the
Yep,
Facebook group. But yeah, I'm always kind of lurking. And one, I just, anytime someone shares a product of mine, on their rack or anything like that, I always, like to say thank you to them.
yeah.
So I try to keep my eye on everything. I mean, I'm at this weird point now where it's like, it makes business sense to like Google myself or like search for myself, which is like, it's so weird.
It
It's
is. It's
like,
really weird.
so that's kind of one of the weirder aspects of being a business owner where, but a lot of that's just because I want to thank people if they're sharing my
Yeah,
stuff. But yeah, it's kind of strange.
yeah,
But I do try to, and then I expoed at Home Gym Con last year. I'll be there again this year. But yeah, I mean, anywhere I can, talk with people about home gym stuff. Like I love it. That's
yep,
it's not just my job. It's something that again I consider myself a home gym owner first,
yep,
and just being able to talk about home gym stuff is great. I just had the guys out from Massonomics to do a home gym tour video, but I can sit and talk about home gym stuff
yep,
all day long until
yep,
people. Unfortunately, since I work by myself, I don't have anyone to talk to about it, so I gotta rely on these online
yep.
forums and spaces.
Yep, I get it. So I get in trouble with my wife sometimes because we go on walks and I look in people's garages and go, "Oh, look, they have a rack. I should talk to that guy." You ever do that? You ever talk to like
Uh,
a neighbor or anything like that because they have gym equipment in their garage?
I've seen a couple, but like
Okay.
when I say something to them, they kind of just look at me like I'm a weird guy, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right, I'll keep walking. I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, every once in a while I get someone who like very clearly is interested in, and then I had one guy that was like, "Oh yeah, I'm holding on to this stuff for my buddy." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like it just totally deflated my entire like excitement for it. So,
So you're saying you don't want to have an hour-long conversation about home gym accessories
yeah,
right now?
yeah, what's going on, right? Do you run ads or anything like that? Like
Yeah.
Facebook ads. So have you ever had friends? Because my wife has done this a couple of times. She's had coworkers go, "Is your husband in an ad on Facebook for like, I think uh, Beyond Power ran me in one
Mhm.
for Voltra, and Freak Athlete has had me in a couple and stuff like that." And they're like, "He looks real. Why is he in an ad on Facebook?" I'm like, I don't know that I don't handle that part. That's weird, but yeah. Yeah, have you ever
Uh,
had that? Have you ever had friends or anything like that comment like they've seen you or seen your stuff like somewhere else?
not usually. One, I'm not in any of my ads. I literally set up my ad set, I don't know, a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And it's like all static pictures. It's the
Yeah.
worst ad set that someone could create if they wanted a successful business. And somehow it still works. I
Yeah.
don't I don't have a good explanation for
Maybe,
it.
maybe,
But
maybe it's so bad people are like, "What the hell is
it,
that?" and they click on it.
it's possible. Uh but I'm not in any of the ads. If anything, I would get recognized on occasion from like the Instagram reels I used to do.
Okay, sure.
Uh, So for anyone that doesn't know, before I did the company, I did a lot of Instagram reels for home gym stuff, and those got pretty popular for a while.
Yeah.
But if anything, I get, people will say, "Oh, I saw that one." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
I've had a couple of neighbors tell me that they've talked to people, and they're like, somehow my name comes up. They're asking about gym equipment or something, and they go, "Oh, well, my neighbor's Joe Gray," and they go, "I know who that is."
Yeah.
And they're like, and he's like, "Okay, cool. I mean, so do I. He's my neighbor, kind of thing, or whatever." So yeah, yeah, weird to be like super low level, niche, crazy, specific, kind of famous, for lack of
Yeah.
a better term, right?
Yeah,
uh,
it is strange. Normally, 'cause especially like when I'm in the Discord group, most people are, they're faceless.
yeah.
Where yeah, I mean, my
They
face is
know
very
exactly
out
who
there.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, man. Number four for you. So everything you build, you design, assemble, it's all shipped, the whole deal from your garage. It's American made, the whole deal. Can you tell me about that process? Why you've chosen to kind of go that route as opposed to maybe a more hands-off, maybe even more lucrative, send it overseas and let someone else handle it, and you just stamp your, name on it, kind of thing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so when I first was kind of getting started, I was going to kind of explore both avenues as far as making things in the US or getting things imported. And at the end of it, I kind of just something about having another company, out, basically make it and then have to import it. Um, I just it didn't leave a good feeling in my stomach. Um, like even before all this, when I bought my equipment for my gym, I mostly lean towards Rogue equipment. I like the idea of made in America equipment. Um, it's just one, people are going to spend their money, one way or the other. But for me, it was important for me to just keep the money I spend. I wanted to keep that money, inside this country.
Yep.
That's just, that's something that's important to me. I wanted to do that, even though, yeah, the reality is I'm probably leaving half the money on the table by doing that, if not more, to be
Yep.
honest. Um, so while it's not the most lucrative, it's just one of those things that like I personally believe in. I'm proud of being an American. I'm proud of having my products made here in America. And there is, I mean, there's a lot of equipment that comes from China and other places that's really, really nice.
Yep.
Um, I have I have, a bunch of rep stuff in my gym. Um, but yeah, for me, it's just I like, the feel. Once you hear something's made in America, you just feel, there's just a different feeling to it.
Yep.
And that's just something I wanted to do. And I'll continue to do, for as long as I can, as long as it makes financial sense. At some point, if it basically was not profitable, I would have to look at it just because otherwise the business doesn't exist at that
Yep.
point. Um, but yeah, no, it cost. I mean, I get a lot of comments about people, why are my products so expensive? Why are my products so expensive? Well, because the cost of making something here is about 5 times the cost of making it somewhere
Yep.
else. And that's
Yep.
just the reality of it. But again, I'd rather my spending dollars go to American workers
Yeah.
versus foreign. So
Yeah. Cool. I like it. Would you, so if you had to, I mean, it makes sense, like you said, you'd ship it overseas because some business is better than no business, right? But is that kind of the, like, would you say Rep reached out to you tomorrow and did, offered something like, I think like Cleva and Pepin and stuff, right? Would you consider that kind of a deal?
I mean, I think that's something you always have to be open to exploring. I mean, I've had calls, with Titan before. Obviously I have it's not like I mean, I don't know, partnership or whatever.
Yeah.
Rogue resells some of my products. I mean, I've chatted with Ryan from Rep about possibly doing something in the future.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm like completely against because, there's a couple ways of looking at the business, and one way for me to grow my business is to free up time.
Yep.
So when I'm sitting here 12 hours a day packing, assembling and packing orders, that's time, not spent, designing new products.
Yep.
And I like to think a lot of my products bring something different to the home gym space. And, I think they bring a lot of benefits. So, by not having time to design new products, you're leaving, a lot of, utility,
Yep.
usefulness out of the picture for people.
Yep.
So it's something that, it's always in the back of my head. If it was the right opportunity and it made financial sense and I felt good about it, it's definitely something I would explore. I prefer if I can partner with an American company.
Yeah.
I would probably go that route. Well, certain American companies, I would go that route. It just depends who it is.
Ooh, dish.
Oh, no, it's just, if it was like Rogue or somebody, if Rogue came to you tomorrow, I was like, hey, we want to make the anchor, we're gonna pay you this amount, and it was a good amount, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's go.
Done deal,
Uh,
right? I
some
get it.
other, there's a few that I'm like, I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. We've all got our experiences behind the scenes and in front of the
Yeah,
scenes and all kinds of stuff that kind of skew some of that. So
yeah.
I totally get it. Cool, man. I appreciate the honesty as well, by the way. All right, man. Last question for you. Tell me one reason why people should be excited for your upcoming AMA.
I'm a home gym user, just, like hundreds of thousands of people out there. I found a need for something that didn't exist, so I started my business. um, making what I think are cool products for home gym users. So yeah, come to the AMA. I'm definitely gonna do some giveaways of a number of my products. And then yeah, if you want to just chit chat about things I personally like in my home gym, product ideas of things that I'm either working on or things that people, just like me, I know a lot of gym users out there have products ideas that they want that don't exist yet. And if I can help people develop those, uh, even better. But it'll just be a fun, little chat about, being a home gym owner, starting a business. Starting the business is probably something a little bit more exciting to talk about because, uh, yeah, I mean, I could talk about lifts all day, but that's not quite as fun. But
Yeah.
starting a business it's an interesting thing to go through over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of insight on kind of things that I've ran into that are different.
Cool. I like it.
Things
All right,
looking at.
everyone, that
So
is the AMA warm up with Darko. I will put details in the description for dates for his upcoming AMA, as well as links to his Instagram and website and all that good stuff so you can check out everything he's doing. Make sure to come over and ask him questions, like he said, whether it's on running a small business, owning a home gym, you got a new product idea you think should come to life. He's the man to talk to, all kinds of good stuff. So. That's it. Thanks, dude. Appreciate your
yeah.
time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yep. Later.